Now, his widow is furious, and the coroner could barely contain his anger as the government refused to hold a public inquiry into the death of the Russian spy, Alexander Litvinenko. The coroner said it was now inconceivable that the long-delayed inquest could go ahead as planned. Outside court, Marina Litvinenko called it a political decision and vowed to continue her fight to discover the truth. We'll hear from her in a moment, but first James Blake has this report.
It's nearly 7 years since her husband was killed, but for Marina Litvinenko there is still no justice. And today, yet more disappointment as the British government refused the coroner's own plea for a public inquiry into the death.
I still have a very long way to get justice, and I feel very strong, even it was quite disappointment decision today, what we received from government. But now how does it look? It looks like a very political decision what happened today.
Alexander Litvinenko was poisoned with radioactive polonium and died in November 2006. Today, the coroner said the investigation of Russian state responsibility is of central importance to the case, but evidence from British intelligence agencies would be excluded from any inquest.
The coroner, Sir Robert Owen, has seen this secret evidence and has called for a public inquiry. Today he told the court, "I cannot believe there can be a proper investigation without consideration of this HMG material that I've been shown."
To have a really excoriating piece of evidence submitted which suggests that the Russian state has committed murder on British soil would really hinder the wider relationship and could have effects on trade and economics.
A statement from the British government says simply,
"We believe that the coroner's inquest can continue to effectively investigate the circumstance of Mr. Litvinenko's death, and we will continue to cooperate fully with it."
And yet the coroner could barely contain his frustration with the government as the last-minute decision delays the inquest still further.
Representing Marina Litvinenko, Ben Emerson QC accused the government of a catalogue of indecision. He said it treated this court with disrespect and Mrs. Litvinenko with utter contempt.
Now she must decide whether to fight for a judicial review and risk large costs if she loses. James Blake, Channel 4 News at the High Court.